So it's your first day of wrestling school. You're surrounded by countless other nervous rookies, and all you know is that you don't want to end up in the corner vomiting your breakfast into a bucket. So how can you make sure that you're ready for that very important first day in the ring? I'm here to give you a few tips on how you can. This is Damian Slater and welcome back to World-Beater Wrestling. Now, probably the most common question I get asked by people who are looking to make a start in our industry is how they can make sure they're best prepared for that first day of pro wrestling school, or how they can make sure that if they go to a tryout or an open day, they're not going to be making a fool of themselves. And I can already say that the internal dialogue that a lot of us have before we start out is it's not the right way to go about it. You can think, hey, I'll wait 6 months, I'll wait a year, or maybe I'll hit the gym for a while, but I can tell you nothing will fully prepare you for what we do in the ring, and nothing will fully prepare you for an open day or a tryout. You're going to be surrounded by people who are in the same situation as you, some who may be athletes, some who may not. And I can tell you every single one of them will struggle. There's really nothing like what we do in between the ropes. But if you want to make sure that you are best prepared, whether it be athletically or mentally, or anything related to what we do in the ring, I'm going to give you a few tips on what you can do in the lead up to that first day of pro wrestling school. Tip 1, calisthenics. So calisthenic exercises are anything that involves body weight, things like squats, lunges, push-ups. You can use plyometrics in there as well. This is something that pro wrestling schools universally use and it forms part of their conditioning. If you've ever heard of the old Gotch Bible, the Gotch Bible involved a deck of cards and doing high repetitions of all of the exercises that I just named, plus more. These are going to be good ways to prepare you for any tryout or open day. I can tell you from my experience that most open days or most beginners classes do involve a lot of Hindu squats, Hindu push-ups, crunches. I would suggest that if that is a way that you're going to prepare yourself, then start low and progress. You don't want to be, hitting 500 reps of squats because you heard that's what they do in the Japanese dojos, because then you're going to find that you've overtrained yourself. You're not going to be able to recover, particularly if you start doing that very close to a tryout. So if you've got a few months before you know that you're about to start pro wrestling school, start low, start at 30, 40 reps of squats and try to increase every few days or every week until you can hit those high hundreds, 200 numbers. And the same goes for push-ups and lunges and all of those types of exercises. In saying that, in previous weeks, I've covered conditioning circuits. So using those exercises to time. So you might do 45 seconds of an exercise like squats, and then you have 15 seconds break, and then you might do it again or move on to another exercise. I mean, these are great ways to condition your body, to build your endurance, and to really work on that muscular strength for what we do in the ring. Tip number 2, hit the gym.
Come on, more energy.
Now, I know pro wrestling's evolved over the last decade, and being a muscle-bound freak probably isn't as important as it once was. But you got to think, what we do in the ring involves a lot of strength. We're always lifting ourselves, lifting our opponents. And if you have a weakness and you can't support your body weight or the body weight of your opponent, you're going to be a liability. You're going to put yourself at a higher risk of injury, and people are going to be less likely to want to work with you. Also, the aesthetic side of things, as much as some people hate to talk about it these days, they're still as important as ever. Your look and your overall physique, they form part of an overall package that's going to make you more desirable to a promoter or a booker or another company that you want to work for. So the way I see it, leave no stone unturned. Work on your physique, work on your character, work on your moveset, work on your overall engagement with the audience. But if you neglect one aspect of this, you're going to make life much harder, because now, while your physique struggles, while your look struggles, you better make sure that promo ability and that wrestling ability is good enough to compensate. So why not lift them all up? Now, if you need help on how you can start weight training or start dieting, contact a personal trainer. I can put you in touch with plenty here in Perth that can help you out. Progress 365 is a great one that a lot of EPW wrestlers use. You can look online, there's YouTube videos now, plenty of YouTube channels that will give you tutorials on working out, writing a workout program, forming a diet. There's really no excuse. You've just got to be willing to look and search for the information that will form that database that will help you make the next step in pro wrestling. Tip number 3, try a mixed martial art.
This ninja knows no fear.
Honestly, the most valuable thing I ever did in my pro wrestling career, and probably a little bit too late, was take up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It helped me with my conditioning, with my footwork, my movement. It gave me new creative ideas for submissions and technical counters. And the most important thing, it just taught me to relax. One of the biggest things I find from rookies who come into pro wrestling is they have a lot of nervous energy. They're very tight, very bound up, very stiff, and they struggle to relax enough to learn the technique. By getting into a grappling art such as jiu-jitsu or catch wrestling or even amateur wrestling or judo, you're going to be in a better mind frame to learn the suplexes, the slams, the break falling and everything else in between. You can also try Muay Thai and boxing. They're going to help you with your striking. And overall, every single martial art is specifically going to teach you discipline, respect, and it's going to work on that conditioning so that first tryout you do, you're not going to be the guy over in the corner by the bin. So those are 3 tips on how you can better prepare yourself for your first day of pro wrestling school. But above all, I'll say it again, just don't psych yourself out. You may not think you're in the best shape or you're fit enough to be a pro wrestler, but this is where we teach you. This is where we make you fit. So come to a tryout, come to an open day, and see for yourself. See if you have what it takes to be a pro wrestler.
Well, you made it to the end. But it's not over. If you want to see more videos like that, click on the subscribe button in the top right-hand corner, spread the word, and if you have any questions or requests for World-Beater Wrestling, don't be a stranger, comment below.